The false consensus effect is a thinking error, where people believe that their opinions, behaviours, or choices are more common than they really are. In other words, they assume that most other people think the same way they do, even when there's no real evidence to support that belief. This can happen in everyday situations, like conversations or group decisions. The false consensus effect makes it harder to understand other people's perspectives because it leads us to believe that our view is the normal one. Now let's look at some examples. A student who skips studying for a test might believe that most of their classmates are doing the same, even if that's not true. Another example is someone who assumes everyone agrees with their opinion about a school rule or a favourite show, just because a few of their friends do. On social media, a person might think their post represents what everyone believes because it gets a lot of likes from people with similar views. These examples show how easy it is to misjudge how common our beliefs really are. Now let's explore what causes the false consensus effect. One cause is the tendency to spend time with people who share similar thoughts and habits. When we mostly hear opinions that match our own, we start to think those views are more popular than they actually are. Another cause is the desire to feel normal or right. Believing that most people agree with us can make us feel more confident and less unsure about our choices. A third cause is limited information. We often don't get to see what everyone else is thinking, so we fill in the gaps with our own assumptions. Now let's look at the effects of the false consensus effect. One effect is misunderstanding others. If we think everyone agrees with us, we might ignore or overlook different viewpoints. This can lead to poor group decisions or unfair judgments about people who disagree. Another effect is conflict. When we expect agreement and instead get disagreement, we might become defensive or frustrated. This can make it harder to have respectful conversations. The false consensus effect can also stop us from learning new ideas because we believe we already know what most people think. Now let's look at some ways to fix this problem. One solution is to ask more questions and listen carefully when others speak. This helps us understand that people may have different opinions for good reasons. Another solution is to spend time with a variety of people, not just those who always agree with us. This can show us that the world is full of different perspectives. Finally, it helps to remind ourselves that our experiences are just one piece of the bigger picture. By being more open-minded and curious, we can avoid the false consensus effect and make better, more thoughtful choices.